Hello and welcome to online class with me Nusrat Alam, lecturer in English, Malistone College. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and very busy with your studies. My today's online class is all about you. Yes, you heard me right. Don't you belong to the age group of 13 to 18 years? Yes, you do. And that is why you are called youngsters, teenagers, or adolescents. Some of you have already reached to the height of your father or mother, but they don't consider you as an adult person, right? You don't even fit to the group of kids either. Then which group do you belong to? You belong to the adolescents group, a few steps behind to the adulthood. Children stay in this group only for 5 years before reaching to adulthood. But during this period of growing, they face lots of troubles also. But those who are able to face them and overcome them, they have conquered the world. During this period of growing, children in our country face a lot of problems. In English first paper, Unit-06, Lesson-02, there is a lesson which deals about all these problems. And the name of the lesson is Adolescence and some of the related problems in Bangladesh. Well, adolescence is such a period when a person or a children is full of potentiality of doing lots of works or activities. Those who can overcome the problems that they face in their life, they can be successful and become world famous. In this respect, I can remember the name of a famous Asian girl, Malala Yousafzai, who also had lots of troubles in her life, but she could overcome. She didn't lose her hope, and now she is a world famous person. Before we start reading the whole passage, let's take a good look at the pictures. Well, these are the pictures of some of the problems that our teenagers in our country face. And the problems are inequality, early marriage, adolescent fertility, drug addiction, etc. To understand all these problems clearly, let's go through the passage. All the data and informations that are being presented in this passage have been quoted from the following sources. Unit 6, Lesson 2, Adolescence and some related problems in Bangladesh. Please check out these pictures that are being shown in this lesson. These are the images of some of the problems that our youngsters or adolescent children face. You can see here a picture of an early marriage, becoming a mother in an early age, drug addiction, neonatal health issues, etc. So let's go through the passage first. To have a closer look, let's zoom it up.
Adolescents constitute a nation's core resource for national renewal and growth. That means adolescents are considered to be a resource to a nation because they can bring about newness and growth of the nation. Adolescence is a period in life when transition from childhood to adulthood takes place and behaviors and lifestyles are shaped. In this period of time, there are seen different types of behavioral changes and different types of lifestyles in young children's or adolescent children's.
There are 28 million of adolescents in our country, but their condition is not that pleasant. Even the girls' condition is worse. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, adolescence is the period which shapes the future of girls' and boys' lives. There are 28 million adolescents in Bangladesh. 13 million of them are girls and 14.3 million boys. According to World Health Organization WHO, adolescence is the period which shapes the future of a boy and a girl. There are 28 million of adolescent boys and girls in Bangladesh. Though the number is huge, but their condition is not satisfactory at all. Even the condition of adolescent girl in Bangladesh is characterized by inequality and subordination within the family. The situation of adolescent girls in Bangladesh is characterized by inequality and subordination within the family and society. That means there is presence of inequality, that girls are considered to be a lower race in our family and society. They were not treated similarly as their brothers are treated in a family. And subordination, that means they are made helpless or dependent or subservient towards others within the family and society. That means they are made dependent in the family and to the society as well. This inequality leads to widespread practice of child marriage, marginalization, or exclusion from health, education, and economic opportunities, and vulnerability to violence and sexual abuse. This inequality, that means as they are not treated like men in the society, leads to the widespread practice of child marriage. These girls are getting married or they are married off in an early age. Marginalization means treated as insignificant. They are treated to be an insignificant figure in a family or in the society, or exclusion from health, education, and economic opportunities. Exclusion means keeping out. They are being kept out of health, education, or economic opportunity. These girls are not allowed to do something or do some work to get economic freedom. And vulnerable to violence. Vulnerable means a weakness or helplessness, violence, and sexual abuse. As they are helpless and weak, they can be abused easily.
In Bangladesh, the legal age of marriage is 18 for girls and 21 for boys. But this rule or this law is not followed in our country properly at all, because 33% of these young girls get married before they reach 15, and 60% of them become young mothers before they reach 19.
Research finds that adolescents with higher level of education and from more affluent families tend to marry at a later age. Affluent means financially well. Boys, however, become ready for marriage only after several years of adolescence and young adulthood. When a girl gets married, she usually drops out of school and begins full-time work in her in-laws' household. That means after getting married, these young girls are always forced to stay in their in-laws' house doing household chores, not to go to school. In the in-laws house, she is marginalized. In the in-laws house, she is marginalized. That means she is treated as an insignificant. That means her desires or dreams are not significant to anybody, or they are not given importance at all. She becomes vulnerable to all forms of abuse, including dowry related violence. Including dowry related violence, that means even violence is practiced on these young girls for not giving dowry. Dowry means the money, amount of money or precious things that the bride's side or bride's parents are forced to give to the groom. Bangladesh, it is still common for a bride's family to pay dowry despite the practice being illegal. Dowry demands can also continue after the wedding. Everybody knows that paying dowry is illegal. Everybody knows that getting married before 18 is illegal. Still, this is present, clearly present in Bangladesh or in our society.
After getting married, girls start working 24 hours at the in-laws house. That means she is always over there and doing all the household chores that goes on around her. So she stops following her own dreams and stops her education as well. And in the in-laws house, it is a common picture to be marginalized. That means she is unable to do anything according to her will. She is unable to continue her study. She is unable to continue any other activities that she likes to do. And not only that, in our country, paying dowry is a very common picture. What is dowry? Dowry is the amount of money or precious valuable things that the bride's side has to pay to the groom. And even after marriage, the dowry demand could be continued. And that is why dowry is considered to be a curse in our society.
For an adolescent bride, even if her in-laws are supportive, there are greater health risks in terms of pregnancy and childbirth. The majority of adolescent brides and their families are uninformed or insufficiently informed about reproductive health, and contraception. The maternal mortality rate for adolescents is double the national rate. That means being unaware of the health risks to become a mother in an early age, these young girls give birth to a child, and often there is a proofs of maternal mortality, and the maternal mortality in young age is double to the national rate of maternal mortality. When adolescent girls are pulled out of school, either for marriage or work, they often lose their mobility, their friends, and social status. That means when the girls leave their school, either for being married or for being employed for work in an early age, they lose their mobility, they lose their activity, and they lose their friends, and they lose their social status as well. Mobility means activity or dynamism. The lack of mobility, that means for the lack of activity or dynamism among adolescent girls, also curtails their economic and non-formal educational opportunities. As they lose their mobility, they don't have the opportunity of learning lots of things from outside or from other people. That means the education that we get even in non-formal environment as well. Moreover, they lack information about their health issues. They also forget, or they also don't know what are the health hazards they might face in their life. These young girls or these young brides become mother in a very early age without knowing the health hazards of becoming mother in an early stage. It is not only the girls who are vulnerable. Same happens to the boys, those who are unable to continue their study and start working in an early stage. Those who are unable to go to school and those who are unemployed, they're also at a great risk of health issues, and they are often likely to get exposed to drug and alcohols. According to a study, only about 3 in 5 adolescents have even heard of HIV. It is also reported that more than 50% of adolescent girls are undernourished and suffer from anemia. That means that these are young people, as they don't know any, they don't have any health information about their health hazards or what are the good things of their health. They are often ill-fed or underfed, and that's why they often suffer from anemia. What is anemia? Disease, or what is anemia? Anemia is decrease of hemoglobin in the blood. Adolescent fertility is also high in Bangladesh. Adolescents' fertility means the ability to give birth to a child. The contribution of the adolescent fertility rate of the total fertility rate increased from 20.3% in 1993 to 24.4% in 2007. Moreover, the neonatal mortality is another concern for younger mothers. As these girls are becoming mothers in a young age, they themselves are suffering from lots of health issues, and not only that, their newborn babies are also suffering, and even they are experiencing neonatal deaths or mortality. While the situation for adolescent boys is somewhat better, many are vulnerable and lack the power to make decisions about their own lives. Maybe they are in a better position comparing to girls, but these young boys don't have the opportunity or capability of taking decisions of what they want to do or what they want to become in their life. Many boys who are unable to go to school or an unemployed remain unaware of social or health issues. Similar to the girls, they are also suffering, or they suffer from different kinds of diseases, undernourishment, and anemia as well. They are at considerable risk of being drawn into criminal activities. They are also more likely to get exposed to drugs and alcohols. As these boys are young, they don't have proper education or awareness about their social life. They often do criminal activities without knowing their after effects. And not only that, they also are seen to be addicted to drugs and alcohols. Life of adolescent kids belonging to the affluent families is not the same. they are able to continue their studies and follow their own dreams. So, to save these adolescent children, we should bring economic development and awareness, because we cannot lose any more potential lives or potential children in our society. My dear students, I believe that you have understood this lesson and have understood the gravity of the problems that are discussed over here. Please go through this passage properly and consider this passage to be very important for your first passage and second passage as well. From this passage, we can have MCQs and question answers in our exam, and not only that, we might also face flowcharts from this passage. So here are some sample questions on this very chapter that you can practice.
My dear students, here you can see some of the questions based on the chapter you just have read. And not only that, you can also face some of the flowcharts from this chapter, and here are shown some of the samples.
So my dear students, with the hope of your better education and better health, I'm going to end up my today's class here. See you some other time with some other topic. Till then, bye-bye.